Sexy mommy.
You're sexy.
We're gonna have a child seat right
I just want COVID-19 to be over. I'm definitely feeling a little bitter about having to go and exclude Travis from seeing his daughter. Tati's crib. Mama fell yesterday. I haven't been feeling her move. And thank God, everything is fine.
You guys ready to be big brothers?
Hi, I am Brianna Day, and today, I can't believe I'm about to say this, it's my second trimester recap vlog. How we're already like saying goodbye to trimester 2 and saying hello to trimester 3 is literally mind-blowing to me. I feel like the second trimester flew by, and at the same token I also feel like I've been pregnant forever, so it's like two completely conflicting emotions. But I'm like sad because I know how great this trimester was, and everybody says that the third trimester kind of kicks into like this
I'm ready to get this baby out.
and I feel like I'm almost to that point. I loved my second trimester, especially all things considered, because depending on when you're watching this, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so there's a lot of things that maybe haven't been as ideal, but for the most part, honestly, there's been a lot of silver linings for me in this whole second trimester pandemic situation, mainly being that it really, like, being in quarantine really forced me to slow down and take care of myself, because if we weren't in quarantine, I would have been traveling like every single week of my second trimester, which on one hand would have been fun because I love what I do, but on the other, I've also had some pretty crazy back pains and like symptoms I'm going to talk about a little bit that would have made it really hard and probably not as enjoyable. I wouldn't have taken as good care of myself, so I feel like it's almost a little God wink, like he really knew what he was doing for me and the timing of my life and the timing of what's happening in the world, because it's definitely the best case scenario for me to be here, home, taking care of myself, getting the nursery ready. Like there's no way we'd be as prepared for this baby at this stage if I was on tour right now. So from that perspective, I'm really happy. And if you want to hear more about my perspective on being pregnant in a pandemic, I actually wrote a whole blog post about it, how it sucks, how I cope with it, like all of the things. I'm gonna link it in the description box if you want to check that out. But this is really not about the pandemic. This is just about second trimester in general. So I'm going to talk about symptoms. I'm going to talk about my must-haves, because there's a lot of things you need when you're pregnant. And then I'm going to talk about my marriage and how being pregnant at this stage in the game and kind of coming to terms with this new family member joining our family has impacted Trav and I. And if you didn't watch my first trimester vlog, I feel like that's super important. So I'll also link that below so that you can watch the first trimester to understand, like, you know, the dynamic in our story. Like, this was not a pregnancy that we planned on. So, you know, you're navigating a few things sometimes. So anyways, let's get into it. The symptoms. So second trimester was starting off real strong. I feel like the minute I hit my second trimester, all of the ugly first trimester stuff just like instantly vanished. Like my nausea was gone. Suddenly I had like more energy and stamina again, and like just those were the two main things that impacted me during my first trimester, and those things are just gone. So I was like, wow, this is awesome. And then I started kind of showing, so that was really exciting, because now I was like not dealing with just like my body negativity of like people think I'm fat, you know what I mean? Like I actually looked pregnant. That made it fun and started to make it feel more real. Like I was really excited to start showing about. So that's how we started off. About 3 weeks later, I started to experience some aches and pains. So I kind of grew quickly. This is what I get for being small and loving tall men. Ladies, if you think that like tall men are gorgeous. Like Travis, 6'5", I'm like tall, dark, and handsome. It's the backfire of the century when you're pregnant, because then you're gonna have a long AF baby, and that's for sure what's happening. Tati is measuring like a week ahead of schedule, and I'm like, holy cow, how am I gonna push this baby out? Like, this is crazy, but it's worth it because I still love my tall man. But damn, didn't think that one through. So anyways, she's stretching me out. I feel it. Like, I started having the worst back pain ever, and at first I thought it was just because I was traveling. We had started traveling quite a bit. Turns out, no, this is a thing that most women deal with, and some more intensely than others. So I actually, after realizing that this level of back pain cannot be the normal level of back pain that everyone's experiencing, I looked into it, went to my doctor, talked to her about it. She sent me to a chiropractic doctor. Sure enough, I'm dealing with something called sciatica, sciatic nerve pain. Because your pelvis like pushes forward, especially like me, I carry very much forward in the front. So it's just like my spine, my lower pelvic area is like pulling forward all the time, and so those nerves are sitting on each other. It just causes like a lot of discomfort, a lot of pain, sometimes some tingling sensations and like numbness almost. It's wild. Started to notice my skin was itching more, and I was very paranoid about stretch marks, girl, like very paranoid. So I started lotioning and rubbing myself up like first trimester. Like as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I was like, we're keeping this skin hydrated all the way through. Like, not today, stretch marks. Well, turns out that's actually genetic, and you can do some things to help with it, but regardless of whether you take all the precautionary measures or not, if you're gonna get them, you're gonna get them, and that's just something we have to deal with. So I've been pretty lucky. My bump hasn't gotten any like stretch marks. I've started to notice a little bit on my hips. I'm not exactly thrilled about it, but you know what? It's all for this growing baby. So it's fine. It's a beautiful experience. And honestly, I feel like even though Tati's coming into this world for me to like shape her and mold her and teach her how to be a good human, she's already taught me so much more about myself. Like, I feel like I genuinely have become so much more of a just less vain person. I think that's what pregnancy is doing for me. Like, overall, there's a lot of changes that I've experienced. Some people, everybody's different. Some people gain weight like only in their belly, and everything else stays super tight and toned and like, good for you. I'm not one of them. Like, everything is filling out. I'm retaining water like crazy. My little ankles are not really that little anymore. Like, I'm definitely starting to swell and like experience all of that kind of good stuff. But your body holds like 2 times the blood mass or something, I think my chiropractor told me, when you're pregnant. So depending on you and your body and how that impacts you, like, it'll show more than others. So I'm not loving that situation, but you know what, like, again, it is so worth it. I think the best part of the second trimester really is like those kicks. You feel those movements, and the first couple times it happens, you don't really know what's happening. It feels like little flutters, like little butterflies. Like, you feel like a little like, that's it. Like, I don't know how to like put it in any other explanation. It's like a little, you know, and you're like, is that gas? I don't know. And then you wait, and then no gas comes, and you're like, oh, I think that's a kick. And then she just gets bigger and stronger, and then there's like for sure kicks and movements, and it really gets you so much more in touch with this life that's literally begun in your body. And so all of the other changes, I'm like, I can deal with it. And I have good days and I have bad days, and there's some days where I'm like, I'm every woman, and I feel really good about myself, and I'm like, yeah, I am a woman. I'm making a child. I have this cute ass bump. And then there's other days where I'm like, but I want to look hot this summer, you know, and I want to have my waist back, and what happened to my jawline, and what is this arm fat? Like, there's definitely, you kind of have both, and I'm just kind of really okay with living in duality of that and knowing that that's going to be the case. But overall, I'm way more at peace with myself than I've ever been in my life. So thank you, Tati. You've taught mommy so much. So symptom-wise, back pain. Other than that, some like puffiness, a little bit of swelling, a little bit of discomfort, some itchy skin, maybe some signs of some stretch marks. That's pretty much like all there really has been to it in this pregnancy for me. Started recently experiencing as well a little bit of like insomnia, which I think is just again tied to like the discomfort. So it kind of goes hand in hand, like you just can't get comfortable, and oh yeah, you gotta pee like every 5 minutes, so there's that piece of it too. So how can you sleep at night when you literally have to get up constantly to go to the bathroom? Like, you can't, you just can't. But whatever, it's fine, I'm fine,
everything's fine.
Let's talk about not so much the symptoms but the must-haves, because it's really like, I think what makes it easy is when you have the coping mechanisms. And by coping mechanisms, I mean coping materials, right? So for me, first and foremost, let's talk about the back pain, because that's been the biggest thing for me. So I had to get myself a few things. Number one was a pregnancy pillow. And why do we call this a pregnancy pillow? I don't really know, because this is the best thing known to mankind. Like, I will probably use this forever now, as long as Travis doesn't throw it away. Because the thing is you love it, but your man or your partner definitely does not, because instead of cuddling up with them, you're cuddled up with this big round delicious pillow. And mine is like a full-on U shape, so it like wraps all the way around me and like hugs my belly, and I love it because you can't really lay on your back when you're pregnant. So you can kind of like wedge one side of it behind your back and like lay on it, so you kind of feel like you're laying on your back, but you're not, which is nice. And then you got this other side that like fits perfectly between your legs, and it's just glorious, honestly. It's so comfortable. It just gives you all the support your hips need, your belly needs, your back needs, all of the things. So I'll link my pillow down below. And so you gotta have your good pregnancy pillow. And again, you ain't gotta be pregnant to get down on a pregnancy pillow, because girl, best sleep of your life. So that's the number one thing that's helped with back pain. Number two, I definitely also went ahead and got myself a belly band. My doctor, she had recommended me this wild one that was like almost like a diaper with suspenders that like really like holds the belly up. And I was like, yes, I'm sure that one works great, but I am trying to maintain some level of sex appeal and cuteness throughout this pregnancy, and I'm not wearing a diaper with suspenders. Like, I'm just not. My back doesn't hurt that bad. So I opted to just go with this really light breathable one, especially because I knew, you know, I'm gonna be pregnant in the summer in Texas, which if you don't know, it's like triple digit heat here. Like, y'all better pray for me this last trimester, okay? But yeah, so I didn't want something super thick or super heavy. So I found this really awesome, like super stretchy, super breathable belly band. But it's so nice because instead of your tummy as it grows just like weighing down, it kind of like helps just take off some of that pressure on your back and gives you a little support, so you're not pulling your lower pelvis as far forward. So that's been a huge deal. So if I know I'm gonna be like walking around a lot that day or super active, like I always wear my belly band under my clothes. And the particular one I found is really discreet. Like I can wear it under a bodycon skirt. For the most part, you're really not gonna see it. So that was the other really nice thing about it that I really liked about the one that I picked. It's not the heaviest duty in the world, but it does the job and allows me to still look kind of cute. And then the last and final kind of secret weapon is I did go ahead and get down with a chiropractor. I did. I had, it was really intense. It was really bad. My doctor ended up referring me to this specific one that specializes in prenatal care, prenatal chiropractic, and I did. I got myself on like a 9-week program. I go twice a week. I get myself adjusted. They got me on some PT and some like different stretches and exercises I can do to really help strengthen my back and my hips. And I'm excited because they say it's supposed to help with labor as well, like strengthening those muscles and getting control of all of that. So we'll find out, but I feel really good about it, and without a doubt it's made such a huge difference. And in addition to that, I love doing some prenatal yoga at home, but all of those things have really helped. So yeah, I'll link it down below. So So the next thing to really address like any of the skin issues or frustrations is really getting all of the right lotions and potions. And so my number 6 must-have is my Hatch Mama Belly Oil. That's what I started using at the beginning of my pregnancy, and then as things expanded and as time went on, I decided to kind of grow the collection. So I actually got turned on to this brand called the Spoiled Mama. So I actually got 3 products from them that I'm obsessed with, and so that's 7, 8, and 9. I'll link them down below. They're phenomenal. I actually have a discount code for them as well if you're interested in checking them out, and they have all kinds of good stuff. But I got the body polish, like a good exfoliating polish situation that is like a lavender and vanilla hydrating yummy goodness that just makes me feel like a goddess. And then after I come out of the shower, I've got this great belly butter situation that's just really, really good. It's all dermatologists like approved and recommended, and then they've got like their equivalent of the oil as well. So I'm just like constantly like recycling through all of my different items and materials and mixing them up and putting them on and just keeping myself hydrated all the time, because like I said earlier, I haven't had any like real stretch marks on my tummy. Just a little bit starting to show up on my hips somewhat, but then my lower tummy is like starting to like really itch a lot, and then I can feel those abdominal muscles are just really stretching under there, so I feel like I'm getting ready to grow. These are the signs, and so I'm like just keeping it hydrated all the time. So you gotta have those. You gotta have your own arsenal of like belly butter body moisturizing goodness, and those are awesome. You have to check them out. I didn't mention my heating pad, but I definitely could not have lived without my heating pad. I use it multiple times a day, and it's so relieving for that lower back. So good. Other than that, I mean, yeah, those are really the things. Those are really the things that I could not live without during my pregnancy, for sure. And now, marriage. Again, this is, I think, not only the silver lining of this beautiful surprise pregnancy, but also the silver lining of this pandemic for Trav and I, because, you know, I've been working from home. He's been working from home. Well, he always works from home. For him, this is just business as usual, but we've had a lot more together time, and with nowhere to go and nowhere to be, you know, I would have been traveling all the time. He would have been deep in triathlon season. Like, he would have had his Ironman at the end of April. Like, he would have been we just wouldn't have had nearly the amount of time to bond. So it's really been nice because we are adding this new family member into the mix, and naturally, as it should be, when she comes, it's going to become all about her. So it's been so beautiful to have this time together, just us, to just really focus on us and like really soak in the time together and be together and embrace this journey together, and like be around each other when like things happen, when I feel things, and I can just walk into the next room and be like, babe, feel her, like whatever the case may be, like things I wouldn't have been able to do if I was at the office or touring on the road, or if he was working out like crazy. Like, that's been really, really cool. So for us, yeah, just really taking the time and taking each other in has been a beautiful blessing, and we have gotten so strong as a couple. I think the biggest thing for us has just been communication on both sides, because, you know, like I said, if you haven't watched my first trimester video, you don't have the context for this, and you need to stop here, go watch it, and then come back to this part of the video, because I think our story really impacts the marriage dynamics. Like, if you're a married couple or not, whatever, people do things in different orders these days. It's all cool. Different strokes for different folks. You know, if you were planning your pregnancy, like, you're both so ready and so excited and all of those things, and like because we weren't planning this pregnancy, got excited at different times. You know what I mean? Like, I found out and I was immediately excited, and then I had my like, oh shit moment, and then I got excited again. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of like hits you differently, right? And then Travis was definitely excited when I first told him, but he's also way more like analytical, right? So the logistics of like, I'm becoming a father was like really overwhelming for him. So communication, without a doubt, is key, because him feeling the ability to talk to me about it, like, and me being open to hearing it, ladies, like, guys are different, and like we're growing this baby. Like, I feel like I have already changed as a person, and Travis, I've noticed, is definitely evolved, and he's changing too, but I don't think he's really truly going to change until he holds Tatiana. Like, and that's what everybody says. Like, I feel her, so I feel like I'm carrying her already. For him, it's like when he has her in his arms, I know there's just gonna be this light bulb where he just is like a dad. But I very much already feel like a mom, because my whole existence and every minute of every day, I'm like worried about my child and like, you know, keeping her safe, and, you know, like very aware of her life, right? Because I feel it inside of me. So I feel like I'm already a mom, and he's already married to like the 5th woman in 7 years he's been married to, because I've changed so much since we've gotten married, because we got married so young, and thank God we've evolved in the same direction, and that is going to continue. But yeah, so I think that just the open communication and being okay if your partner's like not in the same place as you are right now, and like just being very transparent with each other about where you're at, because like he has his really good days where he's really excited and he's like doing all of like the handiwork and being like dad of the year, and I'm over here like just being sad for myself because don't feel like myself, and I just want to feel sexy, and I don't feel sexy, and I just miss being able to be us, and like going out and having a cocktail or whatever, you know what I mean? Like whatever it is, like whatever ebbs and flows that both of us have. We both are very communicative about it, and able to be there for each other like when one needs it. Sometimes he's got to be 90 because I'm only 10, and sometimes I gotta be 90 because he's only 10, but at the end of the day, like, we're 100 all the time as a unit, and I think that's really important. So it's been a really great test for us, like coming together and like coming to the realization that we're gonna be parents soon and putting things together, and yeah, the pandemic really gave us time to really work on that too, which makes me feel really great going into the last trimester and this final stretch, literally and figuratively, because we've just been really working on the marriage a lot, and like even romantically, like your body's different, like things are different, you know what I'm saying? So you know, so just kind of like learning each other in a new way, and like, you know, and him just being so conscious about how like self-conscious I've been. Like some women feel really beautiful through their whole pregnancy, and like I said, I have my days where I'm that woman, and then I have my days where I'm like, don't look at me, I'm huge, you know? And that's just a very real thing. I definitely was somebody that kind of struggled with body image pre-pregnancy. So, you know, that doesn't just go away when you become pregnant, and now I look different than I've ever looked in my entire life. So it's very much an up and down thing, and I'm just really so grateful that I've got a man that really reassures me that I'm beautiful, tells me what I need to hear when I need to hear it, and you know, it's helping me work through that, you know, because romantically I feel like it'd be a completely different situation if he didn't do that, you know. It's a new level. We've unlocked a new level in marriage, and that's essentially what you're doing when you bring a kid into the mix, and it doesn't just start when the kid arrives. It starts when you have this kid inside of you, and it's changing everything about your being and who you are and how you see yourself, and your partner having to navigate that with you. So yeah, it's been a really fun ride, but all in all, like marriage, I think we've just gotten so much stronger. And we were even talking about like other obstacles we've been through leading up to being pregnant. Is like every obstacle we have faced has made us a better, stronger couple, and this is just yet another one of those. So I'm really excited to enter the final stretch. We've got like literally like 3 months until Tati is here, and I am just so excited to meet this little girl. I can't stand it. So I am going to go and use the bathroom. I can't believe I haven't done that yet. So I'm gonna link everything I talked about down below. My blog, my must-haves, my first trimester vlog, all of the things. If there's anything that you're wanting to know, questions you have, comments you feel like making, drop them in the comment section below. Give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for my third trimester recap / game day, labor and delivery. We'll see how this pandemic impacts our ability to do that, but who knows? You have to subscribe to find out. So I'll see you next time. Bye.